Hello, everybody, and welcome back to From BA to Broadway. I am indeed your host, Mr. Brennan Stefanik, and today I have with me, back on land for a limited time only, Mr. Conor DeVoe. What's going on?
Hello.
I made it sound like you're a pirate, which honestly, kind of fun.
I was a pirate sometimes.
Arg matey. Conor, who are you and what the heck do you do?
Who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm an actor, singer, dancer who lives in New York. A gay.
Love.
Yeah.
Love that. Great. And that's who you are.
That's who I am.
Just a guy.
Just a guy, a theater nerd.
Yeah. How did we meet? I think it was just mutual friends.
It was mutual friends. Actually, it was at the meatball shop.
It was at the meatball shop.
I remember this.
I have not been there since, but honestly, I had a great time.
Yeah, but that's how I met you, yeah.
Love that. We love meatballs. And Conor, did you go to school for theater?
I did. I went to Coastal Carolina University, and I got my BFA in musical theater.
Amazing.
Which now feels very long ago.
Yeah.
2015. Oh my God.
You didn't have to say it, but...
I like to tell people because then they're like, you don't look that old. I'm like, thank you so much.
I started a joke at work. I didn't start the joke. I shouldn't say that. We started a joke at work yesterday where we kept on saying that like people did things in the 1900s. Like we had prom in the 1900s or whatever like that. And like, it is true, but I'm like, that's honestly really fun and funny and kind of a little insulting, but like, especially with the Gen Zs, I'm excited to bring that out into the world.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Because it is factual.
It is factual for sure. And I don't know. We're here. We're glowing. I'm not 30 yet. I'm so sorry to say, but I'm excited to be 30.
This is so great. I'm going to just go. But you know what's funny? I feel like when I was younger and I looked at people in their 30s, I'm like, oh, they look like so mature. And now all my friends are here and I'm like, is it because we are 30 or I don't think anyone I know looks that way?
No, truly.
Some of these Gen Z kids are like, I'm like, you're a full-grown adult.
Truly.
And I am but an adolescent.
It's wild. It really is. I don't know what it's in the juice that they're giving us, but I'm always one to assume that I'm younger than everyone.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I've worked for Disney for so long that I'm like, I'm so youthful.
Maybe it's just like generational trauma. I don't know.
Or that.
Who's to say, really?
Age is just a number. It's fine.
Anywho, we're here today to talk about marketing, about brand, because if we are in the business of show business, what's the business? And that is, I don't know, it's sales in an aspect, and we are the product, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is weird to boil down to, but also sell that product, you know?
Absolutely.
It's pretty kooky. But here we are. I talked with DJ Plunkett a few weeks ago about type and just like the world of that. And I feel like that kind of walks side by side with branding. But I feel like type is more like, I don't know, the theater of it all. And then brand is the business of it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. I agree. They're like kind of similar, but slightly different.
Yes. I feel like type is when you're doing the show, and then brand is the vibe outside of it. Like kind of what can people expect like when interacting with you? I don't know.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I guess as you look at it like products, like you go to the grocery store and like the branding is what's on the outside, which is I guess similar to type.
Yes.
But it's like enticing people to buy the product.
Yes.
Which the product is the type.
And I think that's all the more reason that you have to be so authentic in your branding, because I don't know, I'm one to fall victim to buying things that look exciting and then be wildly disappointed. And then I think, no tea, no shade, I think I have experienced the casting of those people in shows with me and gotten a little surprised, you know? So I don't know. Is that bad?
No.
Okay, great.
That's not bad. Listen, this past year I've been about the facts.
Yeah.
If it's the truth, it might be hard to hear, but it's just factual.
Yeah.
And it's just your truth, you know?
So true. And I'm going to keep living my truth.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I don't know. Let's just jump, what would you say your brand is?
You know, I've been thinking about this. I know in the past couple years, I've always tried to be myself.
Yeah.
But in the past couple years, I'm like, just really be yourself, because I've always known when I've worked or gotten a contract, people tend to enjoy my work and I do a good job. Yay me.
Yeah.
But I know that people enjoy, and I've been told this, they enjoy me as a human and what I bring to offer just outside of on stage, which is always a very nice compliment.
Of course.
You know, I think in this life, I'd rather someone be like, he is so great to work with, instead of like, he's so talented, but like not a nice guy.
Fascinating. I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's how I feel. But my brand, I feel like I'm more on a tangent, but like,
that's what we're here for.
especially
Choo-choo.
even going into a room, I feel like I sometimes did like the putting on the act and hi, how are you? But you can do that in like as yourself.
For sure.
And sometimes I do feel you can't teach that. You
Yeah.
just be yourself. Unless you're a bad person, then totally put on an act. But if you're a good person,
just be a good person.
Or maybe just be a good person. I don't know. It's so crazy. I've learned that I'm very sarcastic and silly, and I know how to play that in a professional type way.
Yeah.
I can go into a room and be silly and not, unprofessional.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like my brand though is like kindness, very silly and a little like kooky and sarcastic. I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like, because I know people who have seen me on like social media and who don't know me, and then they meet me and they're like, "Oh, you are that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, good. I guess that's just me being myself."
Amazing. That's the way to do it.
You know?
I feel like the silliness is always the tricky thing that comes into play, because I think I would say that I have been a silly boy for a long time, but especially as of late, I've really tried to shed the seriousness of life and of things and just embrace that silliness. But like finding, I don't even know. I hate the word professionalism. I think the professionalism of it all is made up, and I think it is something that was created so people could feel better than other people. So I don't really believe in quote unquote professionalism, but like we've also been talking a lot about auditions and kind of everything just being a vibe check, like being able to read the room, knowing what's appropriate and whatnot, and just like not pandering, but like making sure you're being smart about things, and humor especially is so tricky with that because it is very subjective. So like, I don't know, you got to be smart about what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
I guess that's like life too. I know I feel like with certain people I can have a sense of humor, and I always have to test the waters to see like, oh, what do people think is funny?
Yeah.
But going back to like the professionalism, I guess that's like the umbrella term. But I think it's like when we're like growing up doing shows, like, like if someone's talking, don't talk.
Yeah.
It's like the basic things of life that it's
For
like,
sure.
Not even just theater. Like those are the professional things.
Yeah.
But I think growing up, I was always like, I have to be perfect, quiet, do what I do. And then I realized, oh, I can still be myself and be silly. But when it comes time to like, just, oh, okay, time to turn that off.
Yeah.
That's the professional part. And then the minute you're like, all right, we can just be humans, which I think in turn people like that better.
Yeah.
Because if you're always just like this robot, you're like, who are you?
It's unnerving. It's unnerving.
And I know for the people who can like, they are silly, goofy off stage, and then like they cross onto stage or we start rehearsals and they are on, I'm like, I have so much more respect for you because you can do both.
Yeah. Also, that's acting. That is truly
what a crazy idea.
Whoa, it's crazy that the best actors are just the fun, lighthearted people. Also, especially if you're walking into an audition room, like that's the person you want to work with. If you're talented, amazing. There's a lot of talented people out there. So especially when you're not on Broadway and you are in these random cities and towns or on ships or whatnot, and you are spending most of your day with these people or lodging with these people, you got to pass that vibe check. You got to be, I don't know, nice to interact with.
I feel like I've heard directors talk about this. It's like they want to work with talented people. Yes, great. Because the job is, let's do this play or this show we're doing. But then they're like, at the end of the day, who are the people I want to go get a drink with or like go to dinner with? I know every time I start a rehearsal, I'm always like, okay, who are going to be my people?
Yep.
But I go in being like, I hope every single person
for sure
is my people.
Absolutely.
Like, great. I'm sure they're talented. They got the job, but I really hope they're cool. Because like in my past couple of years, I've been on cruise contracts. Legit feels like college. You are living, working, eating with these people every single day. And you're like, I hope these people are nice and cool because personally now, me being so old, I'm like, I don't care if you can belt your face off. I'm like, are you just fun to be around?
Yeah, yeah.
And like,
yeah.
are you going to be people that like, are you going to be my friends for like the rest of my life? Maybe.
And like,
You could be.
when you think about it, the performance is like what, 1/8 of your day,
Literally.
and the rest is what you're really gonna be spending time with these people for. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And then like with the branding of it all, I feel like the people that I gravitate towards in life, and then like especially my life is theater, are the people that like show themselves on social media, or like they are who they present to the world.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who say they're one thing and not really.
Bum, bum, bum.
I know, right? Oh,
No,
scary.
truly. Just be good people, y'all. Be good, be fun, be silly, be someone that people want to work with. I don't know.
And then be ready on the 5 of the 5, 6, 7, 8.
Absolutely. Get ready to go.
That's my thing.
I'm a little aloof sometimes, so I can't always be the best advocate for that, but
I don't know this person personally. I just enjoy her on social media, but it's Robin Herder.
oh, okay. Yeah.
I feel like she presents herself so authentically and her brand, and she is kooky and wild, and she loves her wine and she loves her friends, but then she shows up and she is full out.
Bam.
Like a work hard, play hard.
For sure.
And I'm like, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Live your life, have fun, and then do your job and do it well.
Truly. And I feel like that's just one thing that I really love about this industry. Like, I grew up in like a very small town, and it was very like 9 to 5, white picket fence oriented. And like, that's not a kind of adulthood that I really saw in life. Like, I never really saw that as an option of a way to be. So I think that's one reason that I really dreaded growing up, is that I just didn't see myself fitting into that, or like wanting to fit into that. So when I found this world and like I started interacting with adults, like I started being in shows with adults who are in the theater world, I was like, wow, these people are so different and zany and fun. And like, I don't know, they're just coworkers and friends, so that I can aspire to be like that. And I don't know, I already get to feel like I'm a part of that. So it's really, I don't know, it's nice. It really is nice. Be silly. Be silly. That's what I say. Take things less seriously, y'all. Okay, so like, we are our own business managers. We are also selling our product. And especially in the modern age, you kind of got to keep up with the ways to do that. You got to keep using the quote unquote best programs to do it, or the best formatting to do that. And right now, I think those, especially like graduating college, I feel like we're seeing a lot of websites. I feel like that is kind of a go-to. And I personally didn't have a website until very, very recently, like the beginning of the year.
Shocking.
I know.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do you have a website?
I have.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I may think I've had different iterations of my website, but I think I made mine sophomore year of college.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But I've always been that like go-getter person.
Understood.
That I'm like, I want everything ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, for a long time, I was just like, oh yeah, that would be fun to have someday. But like, I don't know. I still don't have a lot of credits. Like, what am I going to put on it? Like, why am I going to spend all this money? But then first of all, like, I started making it and it was like kind of fun.
Absolutely.
And then like I found that I had way more stuff than I thought I did. And also like, I don't know, it's also easier nowadays to just be like, rather than sending files of so many tapes, I can just be like, hey, here's my website if you want to check it out, just that kind of stuff. So I do feel like it is a very good tool, but like, it's one of those things where I'm also a caveman. So it was just very daunting. It was very daunting to try and do,
Absolutely. I also agree. I love making my website. I thought it was fun. And honestly, now I love how it looks, that I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I could just like start from scratch, because I liked the project of it all, but I'm not going to, because I like the way it looks.
Yeah. There's a lot
but I do think it's important. Sometimes I feel like you make it and you're like, no one's going to see this. But then you do hear casting directors say like, if I want to know more, but I will type your name in. And like, I feel like sometimes they say that, you're like, oh, do they really do that? And I truly do think they do.
Yeah.
Just because like they might have loved you in the room, they like your resume, but they're like, we want us to see a little more. And if you have that website, they can get to know you as a human, but also see more work that maybe like doesn't necessarily apply to the project they're casting, but might make them more interested in you, because they're like, oh, I didn't know they had that skill set. Great.
Do you ever Google yourself?
I have mainly. So I was like, just do all these things show up? And I was like, oh, okay, they do.
Yeah, truly. I'm always curious. I'm like, what What does the hive mind think of me or know about me? How in the ether am I actually? And I don't know. I feel like I do. I get curious every couple months, and I pop on. I'm like, ooh, okay, fun.
Absolutely.
That's also very vain of me. I am just curious.
Well, I guess like if you are in theater, people who are like, I don't have an ego. I'm like, I think all humans have an ego. But if you're in theater, I mean, come on. We literally like are like, please clap for me.
I feel like saying you don't have an ego is an ego thing.
Right?
It's some level of ego, but for sure.
I'm like, sometimes I rewatch a reel and I'm like, honestly, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, good job, me.
Truly.
I think we all know people who I'm like, okay, you can chill out a little bit. You're not like the end all be all. But I think to have a little bit of ego in this, you have to have something.
You have
or otherwise, like, what would make us go into a room and be like, I can play this part for you? Or just delusion. I mean, that works too.
We got tons of that. But like, it's also just nice to feel proud of yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
That's like one of the reasons that I go back and I watch things is I'm like, wow, you know what? A, even if it's not good, I'm like, wow, I've come so far. And B, it's nice to see those things where I performed in front of people and got a good response and was like, wow, you know what? I did the thing and people appreciated it. And that's just nice. It's just a good feeling. And it's one of those things that keeps you going, Even
like going back to my website, I have like a little section of reviews because I've done like just a couple shows where I've had a role in the show that would have like, oh, people would review.
Yeah.
And like, I say this not in like a stroking my ego. If I'm ever feeling down, which is all the time.
Yeah.
I'll read those and be like, oh, some stranger said this very nice thing about me.
Yeah.
It's like so little, but just to remind myself, like, if you weren't good at this, I think the universe would have told you to maybe not do this anymore.
Yeah.
I
have this one Facebook message that I go back and I look at every couple of months because I was in just a community theater production of Beauty and the Beast in college, and some random family found my Facebook. Like, they sought out my Facebook and sent me a message, and they were like, hey, sorry if this is weird, but like, you were so good. And we just wanted to let you know that, like, I don't know, you should be really proud of yourself because that was like really just a phenomenal performance. And I don't know, we were very happy to be there and witness that. And I was like, I never answered those people, first of all, because I was also just a college student. And I was like, safety wise, I don't know what I'm going to do here. But also, like, if you're out there listening to this, just know that it brought me a lot of joy and pride. And I still look at that to this day. They have since deactivated their Facebook, though. So it is just a gray circle. So it does look like very fake if I were to show it to anyone, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's those things that, like, it's nice. It's just nice. It's nice to feel nice.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
Yes.
But yeah, so we got our websites. What are we putting on those babies?
My goodness. I mean, you always have to have, I think if I go to people's websites, it needs to be clean and concise.
Yes.
Because if I was a casting director, I'd want to get on there and get the information I need quickly. Like, I want to see what you look like. I want to see your resume and your headshot immediately, and then clickable. I feel like I hear that word all the time, like clickable links to, like production photos or videos, and then you can click that, and here they all are.
Yep.
Because I know some people love to make it all fancy and everything. You can make it look fancy, but like very organized. Like on mine, if you see my face, you scroll down, I have an about me.
Yep.
Because, branding.
Yep, absolutely.
And then the next thing is the resume and headshot. The next is I have 3 little tabs that are, what are they? My headshots, multiple headshots, production photos and videos. Yeah. And then the next thing you scroll down is how to contact me.
Yeah.
I think it's very organized, and you click those things and it takes you to the things you want to see. Like my videos, it has my musical theater reel, a dance reel, a vocal reel, and then reels of like certain shows I've done that I like. I mean, you just have to kind of vomit up your work.
That's exactly
and
right.
have like everything there to be like, this is who I am. Please search around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is one of those situations where I'm definitely like less is more when it comes to like the website itself, like you don't
want to confuse people.
No, you don't have to hire someone to make it all fancy schmancy, like the less navigating that they have to do, like they don't have time for that, they don't. So it's easy to just, excuse me. This is a pro burp podcast, just so you know. So if you feel it coming on, let it fly.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the easier it is for them to just log on, figure things out, and like get on with their day, amazing.
Mhm.
You know, you just did them a huge favor, and they're going to remember that, and they're going to appreciate that.
Absolutely. And now that we're in 2024 and social media is, I think, more booming than ever. Like I know on mine, right at the top next to my name, I have the links to my Instagram, my TikTok. I do have a Facebook, but I'm like, I guess you don't need that. Mine's just like there.
Yeah.
But
I find Facebook is like the least engaging of the things.
Absolutely.
So like I also don't have like an actor page for myself.
No.
And I'm like, they don't need to see my personal page. They
No.
don't. This is for, I don't know. I'm not even active. Like I'm not even active.
I just
on
post
that,
pictures
so.
for mom and dad. But I was like, it's there, I guess, if you want to go. No one's going to. But I think they care more about like Instagram or like, YouTube's the other one, which is
yeah. Link to YouTube is great. Y'all gotta have active YouTubes. That was another thing is like I never had active videos on. It was just I kept them all private for like auditions and stuff. But eventually I was like, okay, I should do that. And then I made them public. And then once again, they started getting views on them. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. People are actually watching these. That's awesome. You know?
That was one thing like throughout college and then professional career. I know it's so difficult to get videos of yourself in shows.
Yeah.
But it's so strange because then the industry wants videos of you in shows, but you can't get them.
No, because you can't have bootlegs. But then
also somehow I don't know how I have had videos of all my shows somehow. Like I'm a little old now, so I don't really have my college stuff on there. But I just made my parents record all my college things.
Yeah,
especially personally, if it's a college production. Get those videos.
Yeah,
it's an educational setting.
Exactly.
But then also professionally, I don't know how. I just have a lot of videos of the professional shows I've done.
That rocks.
I'm very lucky, and I just use them. No one's ever questioned me, so I'm like, whatever.
Like there's a B-reel, and I'm like, listen, just let us have it. Just like we don't need to post it anywhere. We just want the footage so we can show people.
Oh yeah,
you know.
And then there's me. I'm like, I post it all over my reel.
Also,
I have that, but it's not for like. It's for me to get other jobs.
Exactly.
A marketing, branding, here we are, the episode, like tool.
Also,
I'm not just like
giving exposure to these other organizations.
Also that, yeah.
Which is, I don't know.
So I think whoever's listening, if you get as many videos as you can, but I think a lot of people get their videos from like concerts they do or cabarets, which is, I think some people are like, oh, but they want to see me playing a role. And I'm like, I think they just want to see you do literally whatever.
Literally.
Like my reels all show footage, but if you only have like one video and then you have even like self-tape stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think whatever, just put it in a reel.
My reels are all things that I film in front of a backdrop.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, first of all, I would like to also keep them up to date too, you know? And like, I'm not doing shows left and right now. So I gotta just do it in the context that I can, you know? Because we are all constantly growing and getting better. And I mean, you should give them the most accurate information, but also give them the best stuff you got, you know, the best performance. It doesn't matter if it's from an actual show. It doesn't matter what the quality is. Try and make a good quality, of course, but like, there's no shame in that. There's like, not.
If that's the best thing, if some grainy video, but you know what? If that's all you got, and I think if someone's out there judging the quality, then I'm like, personally, maybe I don't want to work for you because I'm like, I'm just doing the best I can.
Truly.
At least I have something.
I didn't film it, you know?
Not my fault.
No.
If it was me, I would have hired, you know, a full SWAT team with like drones.
That being said, folks, always invite your bold friends who can fearlessly record in sly ways.
Absolutely.
I am not that friend. I'm so sorry, everyone. I am too anxious and also a little bit too fumbly to accurately do that for you. But everyone's got that person who will. Even if it's your mom, you know, definitely train her on how to do it, of course. But
landscape.
You know, exactly. Whatever you got.
See, I am that friend, and I've learned, I did it for a friend recently. I wore black to the show. My phone case is also black. And I held
I was wearing a ski mask.
But true, I was like, honestly, this is what I'll do. And I held the phone to my chest. No one saw. I was also very sneaky. But you know what? She was so thankful. So
I'm
here
like,
you go.
My bright yellow phone. Like, they'll never know.
But I think, and then like production photos, I guess they're not the most important, but also like we all know for our personal, we love seeing photos of the shows, but put them up there.
For sure.
Truly think that videos, though, are the best thing to have, especially because we're in the world of self-tapes and the TikTok of it all. Like, videos are good. Also because it's going to, you can look pretty on stage, but then I'm like, you could sound like bad.
Absolutely.
Which, in my case, I'm like, oh my God, I know I sounded bad, but I look good.
There you go.
Whatever.
Truly.
But I think whatever you have needs to be on your website.
Get it up there.
Also the same with resumes. Like,
yes.
You don't have to make fancy font and all these. We just need the stuff there.
Yep. You need to be able to read it. Once again, less is more. The easier it is to read, the easier it is to navigate, amazing.
Because these casting directors or producers, they just need the information quickly. And if it's too fancy, they're like, I think truly, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I would get frustrated and then move on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, this is clean, clear. I can read quickly. Great. And I feel like they already then like you because they're like, oh, look at this person. They made it organized for me.
Yeah. And
if it's too messy, they probably are like, I hate this person.
For sure.
I mean, they don't hate anyone.
I mean,
well,
I don't know.
I mean, if I was a casting director and I saw some crazy resume with like colors everywhere, I'd be like, I can't.
No.
Because they're looking at like hundreds.
Yeah. Once again, this is subjective, so take it with a grain of salt and do what you feel, but read the room. Read the room. So yeah, your website, folks, you got your about you got your photos, you got your videos, your resume. Make sure you include a downloadable link of your resume, like a PDF file of it. And if you're using things like Wix or Squarespace, I used Wix personally, it's very user-friendly. It does take a little bit of time to really understand where to find everything, but like once you do, like you can literally hit a button that's like insert PDF of whatever, and you just put the link to it and then make it look however you want. And it is a little bit more intuitive than you would expect. So yeah,
I used Wix too. Originally, I started like from completely from scratch.
Yeah,
but then they have full on templates.
Yes,
that you can just take and then it's like you click a picture and it says replace and you upload your own. Like it's truly like dummy friendly.
And like especially when you are making something simple, it also is easier to make it feel like you know, because you only have so many options, so you got to just pick what is there that feels like yourself. That being said, don't steal other people's formats. Like, definitely look at your friends' websites and stuff, but don't be coming on my website and then copying it panel for panel, you know? That's my art. That's me, you know?
Yeah.
And it does happen. It does happen.
Oh,
and nobody's going to know except the person that you're copying, and they're not going to be happy with you about it. Mark my words. I'm wagging my finger right now at the microphone. But yeah, once again, the moral of the story, every single week, no matter what we talk about, be yourself.
And I think too with websites, and we all know everyone has different financial means. That like, I think if you don't have a website, at least have those videos on YouTube, because YouTube is totally free. But also, I don't know, does Wix have, I think, a free option, right?
There is a free option. So like the way that you pay, quote unquote, for a website is if you buy the domain. You know, if you want it to be BrennanStefanik.com, I have to pay money to buy that. So nobody else takes it, you know? If you're just making your website and you're okay with it, it'll be like wix.com/numbers/Brennan-Stefanik or whatever, yada, yada, yada. That you can do, and it is free and people can see it, you know? So if you are okay with that, amazing. It is a free option, you know? So there's also like, then when you put it on social media, you can code the link to say whatever you want, you know, like visit my website, click it, you're there, you know?
Which I do. I say that also. I say that all the time. Like, if someone's resume will have like the Wix dashboard, I'm like, I don't care. It's there.
Also, nowadays you can make a QR code for anything. You know,
oh my God, that's true.
Put that on your resume if it is something that people can't type very easily. Make a little QR code, throw it there. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that until just now.
Whoa,
I'm a genius.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Actually, I just saw that at all these shows I'm seeing recently for like Broadway Cares Secretary Fights AIDS. A lot of them now are making these gigantic QR codes that someone brings out, and I'm like, that is so smart.
Truly. Also, like,
we are living in the future.
Like inserts for like people going on there's a lot of QR codes now, which is just nice. Also, because I do work for a Broadway theater and I am responsible for making copies of those inserts. And it just takes so
Oh,
long.
no.
It takes so long. I have to make 1,750 copies.
Do you have to cut them?
I don't have to cut them.
Oh.
Playbill like sends us the pre-made, like pre-cut size of the insert paper, but still, that's a half hour. That is a half hour of work. That is just like so mundane, and also just the copier always breaks. There's always some situation, and then you have to go to house management anyways and be like, we don't have an insert tonight, so they just have to make an announcement. So like, I don't know. The QR code is always just very nice. It's just way easier.
Yeah.
Pro tip, folks, there you go. But yeah, so get everything that you can involved in this website, and also a little contact me at the bottom, especially like for people with agents and stuff, like your contact information will not be on your resume. So it is also nice for people to have ways to contact you, even if it is just links to your social media,
Yeah.
it's an option.
Like I know on mine, I have my agency stuff, but I also have like a little form. What's it called? Like a form.
Yeah.
Where like, because maybe I don't know. Not many people reached out to me through it. Maybe they don't need to get in touch with you via an agent. They just have like a personal question.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like we're all just people. So like most of these websites have a thing you can just upload and it'll be connected to your email. And
it's nice. It's just nice to have that as an option.
And if you have the social media connected, I think most people would be like, oh, Instagram, great. And I'll send them a DM.
Let's jump into social media.
I love social media. I say that not ironically. I'm addicted.
Truly.
Take my phone away.
Also that. Is it terrible for me? Probably.
Absolutely.
Do I enjoy it? Sure. My little tiny brain needs something to entertain it in that way, so I will happily let it do that. I feel like go-to nowadays is Instagram.
Yeah.
I feel like every actor has to have an Instagram that they are active on, because that I feel like is now the easiest way to find people, which definitely wasn't always the case. And I think probably in the past 4 or so years, it's really ramped up to that. But like that is now a professional resource,
Absolutely. It's also funny. I feel like I text friends on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll text them. They won't respond. I send them a DM. They respond. I'm like, what is happening? But
I'm like, you're a snake, first of all. Second of all.
Some people also, if you contact me on any platform, I will get back to you so quickly.
Yeah.
My friends know that if I don't respond within 15 minutes, they're like, he is dead.
Heard.
I'm just that person. I am also so anxious that if I don't respond, I just have to complete my tasks. Anyways, Instagram. Here is my personal opinion. I think it's great to have your actory things there, duh. But also be a human.
Oh, yeah.
That like, if casting were to look at your Instagram, like have pictures with your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe don't have like, that's for your close friends, like you like, partying it up.
For sure.
But like, I go to people's Instagrams, truly, maybe this sounds judgy, and if it's like truly headshot after self-tape, I'm like,
yeah,
who are you as a human? I know you're probably a great self-taper. Awesome.
Yeah.
But like, do you have hobbies? Like, do you have friends?
That's the thing is like, my vibe is not people who just always talk about theater. Like every conversation, every first interaction has to be about theater. Every story is about theater. Like that is my job, that is my job, but I have a life outside of my job. And that's kind of what I want to know about people,
Yeah.
We're not going to be just sitting on the couch watching Broadway every night,
Yeah, totally not me. Like totally not me watching like Alpha compilation videos.
I'm not every night,
Oh yeah, exactly.
We do gotta respect those queens.
I also think because this is. I mean, people don't know me, but I eat, sleep, and breathe theater.
Yeah,
but you can also talk about it without it being like so like businessy. It can still be like your hobby.
Yeah,
but I also agree, like but it doesn't have to be everything. Honestly, the moment someone's like, at this equity course call today, I'm like.
It's whenever they make it the me thing. It's, oh, I was in this show once. Oh, I was doing this contract once. Like, that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, that's nice. And I can tell you're happy about that and proud about it. But like, that's not what is going to quote unquote impress me.
Right.
And I feel like that's what it is people want to try and impress people because that is kind of what you have to do. But you have to do that in the right scenarios and circumstances and contexts. And that is in an audition room, at a performance, like it's that kind of stuff, You can still talk about theater. You can talk about the happenings and whatnot and like build bonds and that like that way. But like when it comes down to who you are, like it's not you are not your contracts. You are not all of that. Like,
we're more than our jobs.
Yes, that is exactly right.
And I think that's where Instagram comes in. Like, yeah, it's almost like a mini website in a way. You can post your dance reels and stuff like that, but also like post your pictures of you at the park or the vacation you were on. And like, this sounds weird. Like, I think I do a good job. That sounds weird. But like, I look at my Instagram, I'm an actor because I have actory things, but I also have just my life stuff. Also, if you take a cute photo shoot that's not headshots, like, do it.
Absolutely.
Also, I'm trying to be better about this. That going back to the ego thing, but I'm like, if there's some great picture you took of yourself in some cute outfit, like, feel good about yourself. And Instagram, I think, is a way it can fall into maybe a dark hole, but you can also use it to be like, I feel like I look good, or like I don't know. It can be used for good.
I have 9 million pictures in my camera roll, and half of them are screenshots. Half of them are pictures of documents that I needed to send to someone. It's just that, like, Instagram is nice because you can go on, you can look at all of your quote unquote greatest hits, like the things that made you happiest recently. And it's just a nice way to like remember that and explore that, like your time. It's like a little time capsule if that's how you use it. And it can just be really nice. But yeah, I feel like my Instagram, I think I have like 2 performance videos pinned at the top. And then everything else just kind of filters in as it goes, And that way they can see the professional stuff and then they can immediately see who I am. And yeah, it's nice.
I think my latest one, even though we're saying like everything has to be theater, my latest, I think, post is from my birthday last week of me and all my friends. So I can prove to people that people actually like me, I promise. Yeah. And then me doing a full Wicked reading.
That is true.
But honestly, I've had people who don't know me. They're like, I saw that and it looked like you had a blast. You know what? If we're talking about brand, that is my brand. I love Wicked. Wow. Love it so much. Bringing people together, all the people I love. Yeah. To have some cocktails and sing and read through this play. That is my vibe because I'm a theater nerd, but it's also like, here's my friends doing this fun activity. Yeah. That is my brand through and through.
When I saw the video you posted of that last year, I was like, this is genius. I was like, this is genius. This is so fun. Like, it's camp. It's lovely. It's you hanging out with friends. It's everyone appreciating each other's talent in a way that is like so low key, low stakes, like it is truly, especially it's your birthday. Like it's something that brings you immense amounts of joy. So pop off, I'm not like, I wouldn't be like, ooh, industry, look at me giving the performance of a lifetime, maybe in a role that I can't play ever,
I note this also saying, if you were to look it up, I've done this a few years. I've always either played Elphaba or Glinda. Like the stakes are low, but somehow someone always is so good. I mean, I think my friends are very talented.
Of course.
And most of my friends are theater people. That every year I'm like, it is so low stakes, but everyone's like, oh my God, they are singing their face off. Yeah. And that's what I love because it's like, it's a silly time, but then people are like, oh, right, this person's so talented. Cool.
And also, like, I don't know, we, especially with those big shows, are not going to get so many opportunities to sing those things and have fun with them. So, like,
other than your shower,
take your moment, eat it up, like that kind of stuff. Have fun.
Like, I've had people, like, and people on the internet, they're like, this is so, like, I can tell you guys are having fun. And I'm like, I think in this business, we can still like do things like that, or like a cabaret. It doesn't always have to be like high stakes. Yeah. Like, oh my God, this is to get a job. I'm like, you can do a cabaret or something. And like, it can be, I think we forget why we do this. It can be fun. Not everything has to be like for a job or to be found. I'm like,
my most recent Instagram post is a picture of me singing at Green Room 42 from this past weekend. And they look so, like, the pictures look so dramatic and like emotional. I was truly singing Plain Plate of Noodles from John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch. Like, it was truly just plain plate of noodles with a little bit of butter. That was what I was pouring my heart and soul into because that's what it was, It was silly. It was a show. It was just a cabaret of children's songs. It was songs sung by children that me and a bunch of other adults were singing. How fun, how random, The stakes so low.
Yes.
It's just us having a good old goofy time.
Which I think being goofy and like, even if you're performing or doing something, I think going back to like the authentic self, I'm like, oh, look at them being good at their craft, good at what they do, but bringing themselves to it. Yeah. And not taking everything so Seriously.
Exactly.
Even if you're doing some dramatic something, like, you can just throw it away, and it's like, we're more than this business.
That's exactly right.
Especially if you're doing a cabaret or something. Like,
Yeah.
listen, everyone's at Green Room 42 having their little, or you just hear the clinking of the glasses in the back.
Also, like, I feel like, especially like with that, or like 54 Below, like the stakes in our brains always seem so high. So whenever you see someone doing that, you're like, wow. But folks out there, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Anyone can do a show at either of those locations. You could right now open their website and email them for a slot to do whatever you want, obviously within reason and rights and all that jazz. But anyone can produce a show at either of those venues. So, like, once again, the stakes are definitely not as high as they seem, you know?
No.
Everyone and their mom can be out there performing, which is great. It's great to have those options in those venues, you know? I'm not going to hate on that by any means. And, like, once again, it is cool to perform in those places, but, like, the stakes are not that high.
I've never done a show there, anywhere. You know what? I feel really awkward doing cabarets.
That, you know, I made my debuts at both of them within the past half of a year, just circumstantially, like very scenario based. And I just never had, like, I don't know, I didn't go to school for musical theater, so I was never really singing in front of people. So, like, it's more of like an exercise for me, because like even in the videos, like I'm watching them back and like, yes, I am proud of myself, but like I can see those things where I'm rigid and not fully comfortable up there and opening up. So like right now I am truly using those as tools as how to, once again, open myself up and present myself authentically, you know?
For sure.
And because it is something that makes me uncomfortable. And I don't know, I am always self-conscious about my voice, and I am always in my head about those things. So like that is kind of what that is doing for me, is it is a tool to grow in those ways. So I can then feel more comfortable walking into an audition room and all that jazz, you know?
Absolutely.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no agency about putting myself in those places. It was truly just, I took a class and they were like, hey, do you want to sing with us? Or a friend said, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to do this? Or whatever. So it was like, rad, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun. But it's not everything that I am. It's not my whole personality.
No.
It's just something I did along the way.
I'm going to say this. I always say this.
Say it.
I hope someone doesn't get mad at me, because as I keep saying, I eat, sleep, and breathe musical theater. Literally, a Wizard of Oz quote is on my background of my phone. I love theater. But I always say, if BDC and Pearl Studios is your personality, like, go do audition, take your classes, but also have a life outside of it.
Yeah.
I know it feels like the most important thing to always be in class and be at every audition, but at some point you are going to run yourself ragged.
Yeah.
And you can't go to every, I think there's this thing like, if I go to every audition, go to every dance class, I want to make all these connections. You do make connections.
Yeah.
But I think people think like it's going to lead to the most amazing thing. Whether it's theater or another business, connections are connections. It's always nice to have connections.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like lay your life on the line and be at 18 dance classes a week, because it's not going to put you in Wicked tomorrow.
No.
Because if it did, I'd be at all of them, you know? But because I know people who like all they can discuss is only BDC or only auditions. And I'm like, that's just a part of what we do as actors.
Yeah.
So I say, if it's your personality, okay, great.
That is not your brand, folks.
No.
It is not. And if it really feels like it is, we gotta iron that out, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like my brand is I am a silly, goofy guy who is empathetic, and I feel like I'm a hostess with the mostest, kind of like mother bear in a very unmotherly way. I just feel like I love having my people all in one place. Like that is something that is so central to who I am. So like the second I'm in a cast or whatever, I'm like, okay, we're bonding. I don't care if you want to or not. We're going to get to know each other. First day of rehearsals, we're going out afterwards. We got to get a drink. And it always makes the process better. I mean, for me, it makes the process better, unless everyone's out there hating my guts, which whatever.
Like we hate friendships.
Truly, truly, truly. They're like, you're unbearable. But I don't know. It always makes the experience better. And so that is an energy that I like to convey in my branding, my marketing, because that if you are to hire me, that is what you are going to get. You know, that is what I will bring to the room. That is how I will present myself and interact and try and create environments and safe spaces, that is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to put out there. And like Instagram, I feel like is the really official one. You know, that is like the I am posting about myself and my family and whatnot, but like it is in a pretty official capacity. You know, it is streamlined, it is whatnot, it is easy to digest. You know.
Yes.
And then we got our good old TikTok.
Oh boy.
That is where I feel like I let loose. TikTok and Twitter. I rarely post on Twitter, but what I do is
Twitter.
It is
or X.
I refuse. I refuse to call it X. I refuse.
It is Twitter.
My Twitter is just when I'm just really just out of my mind silly and I'm just need to throw something out there to the world. I don't have a lot of followers. Like it is truly just me being like, pigeons are crazy, you know, like stuff like that. But yeah, TikTok is, I'm sitting here with the TikTok king.
Yo, I love TikTok.
Yeah, you do.
Mainly, not because I post my little videos. It like saved my brain during COVID.
Yeah.
Saved my brain, or did it rot it? I don't know.
Who's to say?
But it truly still to this day gives me so much joy. My attention span may be really short now, 60 seconds, maybe 90. But my feed, theater videos come up and I love a bootleg, but I have the most random things.
Oh, yeah.
Someone restocking their fridge, give it to me. Love it.
Hydraulic press.
Wow.
Crushing whatever.
I love those videos.
Oh, yeah.
But also people out there, which I love, people who are not entertainers, nothing. I love laughing. And there are people out there who are just, I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Live in Ohio. They work in like marketing, like run-of-the-mill jobs.
Yeah.
And they are so funny.
Absolutely.
It's usually like midnight before I should be going to bed. I'm crying, laughing.
Yeah.
It has brought me so much joy. Am I addicted? Yes.
Oh, for sure.
But it truly does bring me joy and honestly relaxes me.
Yeah.
Maybe too much. I'm like, oh, it's been 4 hours of me sitting here.
Yeah. But also, who cares?
But then we do get to like the theater.
You know what I would have been doing otherwise? Playing video games or staring at my phone in some other capacity.
You know what's funny? Before, like, because I know TikTok, I don't know where it, like, when it came out, but I feel like COVID is when really, like, 2020, it, like,
for sure
took off because we were all doing nothing. But, like, I go back to before, I'm like, what did I actually do? I guess I just scrolled Instagram.
Yeah, truly.
But even back then, Instagram didn't really have reels.
No.
I was just looking at static pictures.
Truly. Like, I don't know.
But now I'm like, I need TikTok at all times.
Oh, of course. Also, like, I learned so much. I'm not a handyman. My dad wasn't a handyman when I was growing up. Like, I am learning home tools. I am feeling very confident with a hammer or a drill nowadays, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is so good for you. I'm like, I'm like, can I hold this up with duct tape?
That's fair.
Okay.
Like that TV stand that I have on my wall right there, I put that up myself.
And you learned that from TikTok?
And just like the general foundations of that kind of stuff. And I took pictures and I texted my parents right away. And I was like, I am a carpenter and you can't tell me otherwise. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really great tool. And then what I share with the world on TikTok is just stupid. It's just stupid. It's stupid, silly. It's very on brand of what my humor is and the kinds of jokes that I am. It's dry. I don't know. It's just dumb, but that's who I am. You know, you got a big following.
See, people tell me that and I'm like, no, compared to like other people.
I mean, yeah, you can always compare yourself to someone that will have more, but
in terms of this, like we were talking about ego earlier, I'm trying to not sound like a douche. It's very nice. I also, in Midtown Manhattan, I'm at a show all the time, and those are the people that would probably watch my content. I don't have a week where not like a handful of people have come up to me and told me like, oh, I love your TikToks. And truly not in like an ego way. It does make me feel good.
Yeah.
I guess in a little way, you're like, oh my God, I'm Hannah Montana. Like,
yeah.
But like, I love making people laugh. I love making my friends laugh. I love bringing people together, kind of what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like TikTok has given me that. And even when I get messages like, I just love these videos, it does make me feel happy.
Sure.
And I'm like, I know it sounds like when people are like, that's what I love to do to the world. I like to make people happy. And it sounds so like, I don't know, basic.
Yeah.
But I truly do like it. And
It's
I always
lovely.
appreciate when someone's like, I like what you do. Because you could find me annoying. And if you do, Me too. I also find myself annoying. So you're on brand. But like, I realized early on that like, I mean, I do theater. It's what I love. And I was like, well, these videos seem to be catching on. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And what I've learned branding wise in TikTok is like, I just talk about theater or theater scenarios that we probably all have been a part of. And truly, I've been shocked at how many people are like, oh my God. Like, I made one video about mic tape. Mic tape.
Yeah,
it has millions of views. And I thought it was not that funny. But then I was like, oh, because we've all experienced this.
Yeah.
If you've ever been in a play, professional or like community theater, you've all had the same experience. And I'm like, okay, it's bringing people together.
Truly.
So I like to do little skits or when I'm like high on my caffeine, I'm like, oh, this is a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's usually on the treadmill at the gym. I'm like, or I do talk like as myself, and I will say it's slightly elevated because, you know, it's on the internet.
Yeah.
About theater situations. And I do try, knowing that I have somewhat of a platform to discuss issues that I want to discuss, but in my own playful humor. What? Humatic? What? Humatic? Did I just make up a new word?
I'm pretty sure the word is humorous, but I really love humatic.
Oh
Your humatic way.
My humatic.
The humaticity of it all.
Whoa. Okay. Anyways, in that way, because our business, there are some things that I'm still very, very not okay with.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm sure other people want to discuss it, but I don't want to like get on my soapbox and preach.
No.
I do, but in like a human way, just
For
to
sure.
be like, all right, this is what I feel.
Yeah.
One of them being most recently, and I'll just say it now, your life, if you work in theater and if you're not on Broadway, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the sad part is a lot of people kind of treat you like it's not.
For sure.
Like if you haven't been on Broadway, that you are not actually professional. And believe it or not, 90% of the work is not in New York City.
Yeah.
Literally. Probably the percentages are probably more.
It's probably also like, I don't know, 1% of actors are on
Literally.
Broadway.
Then,
out of all of the actors.
So
all of the
it's like-
professional actors.
Like things like that I want to talk about, but I'll talk about it also as just me, as Conor, and like be silly about it. But I also like to, you know, and well, go follow me at Conor DeVoe.
Absolutely.
But
also, like, people
fun.
are not going to people are going to TikTok for a release. They're looking for just to relax and whatnot. So, like,
and the haters in the comments, I'm like, if you are taking things too seriously, you should not be on the TikTok.
No, that's not why we're here.
Also, if you can't see that I'm being like joking about this, then you are not my clientele.
That's exactly right.
Karen.
Hey, that's my mom's name.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I'm sure she's lovely.
She's the exception.
Okay,
she knows it. We all know it.
One of my best friends is named Karen. She's also incredible.
And she's like our age?
She is.
That's wild.
You know what's so funny about names? They do last your whole life.
That's,
you know what I mean?
So true.
Like there's like Lucille, like an old lady name. Like someone was 4 years old with the name Lucille.
But like that was the time when that was so normal, you know?
Or do we just change our names when we get old? Am I going to become like
is there a ruse
like a
happening
Jasper or something?
A Jasper. Whoa.
Like, what a cute little name. Anywho.
Literally.
But not Karen.
The more you think.
But yeah, the TikTok. And when it gets to like the business of it all, I have gone into rooms and I have had people, thankfully, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I think if they thought I was annoying, they probably just wouldn't say anything.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They have been like, oh my God, I've seen your TikToks. They're really funny. And I'm always like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that
they would not interact with you in a positive way if they thought you were annoying, because that just opens the can for you to then be annoying.
Casting directors, and I've had like a Broadway casting director, and I was like, okay. But I don't know if I patting myself on the back for it. I'm like, I guess I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I like his stuff. Like he's just being relatable. And especially when it comes to theater, like we've all, no matter what level you're at, we've all experienced the same things and we can all laugh about it.
100%.
Like I love making videos about like going to Denny's after
Of course.
And you know what? I'll say this. It could be high school or it could be professional. You're going to end up at some restaurant.
You're going to have an
eating
establishment.
fries.
And it's always going to be some form of chain restaurant because that's what's open that late.
If you're doing a show in like, I don't know, Pennsylvania, you're going to be at an Applebee's.
I did a show in the middle of nowhere, California last year. And truly, it was like older white people was like the demographic. So everything closed at 9 p.m. We would get out of a show at 10:30. Our only option, the only thing within a however many mile radius was Applebee's. And even then, we could only stay there till like midnight or whatever, so.
It's just like I think it's like a part of like theater culture, like people like on tour, like big Broadway, Wicked national tour. Like I know people on it and I see them at like just random bar after the show. I think that's just like a theater. Yeah. It's like part of our culture.
Also, like, I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
I'm very hungry and I want some mozzarella sticks.
Absolutely.
Sue me for it. I don't know.
And also, I love Applebee's.
Oh, I am an Applebee's stan.
Do I want to go
unironically
to the one on 51st right now? I could. And pay $40.
Are we going to Applebee's after this?
Paying $40 for chicken tenders?
The thing about Applebee's is that it is the same wherever you go. I'm not going to say it's amazing food, but I enjoy what I enjoy, and I know it will be the same no matter where I am. I always get on my Applebee's soapbox because I'm not really a Chili's guy. I got to say. I'm so sorry.
I love Chili's. Until they took away the original chicken crispers, and I truly thought my life was over.
Heard.
So I don't go there often now. Sorry, Chili's.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
I'm sorry to everyone out there who I just really offended. And it is controversial, and I will recognize that. Chili's has a very large following. I'm just not a part of it. But Applebee's is my go-to. It is consistent. I love my pasta dish. I love my mozzarella sticks. And it will always taste the same. I will never be disappointed by the quality that I am getting because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
There we go. We are not sponsored by Applebee's, but I would love to be.
I know. I keep my friends like I have certain brands I love. Like I love Domino's. I love my White Claws. My friends are like, you should start posting things and maybe they'll reach out to you. But you know what? It happened. I would post at not Domino's. I would literally keel over and die. That'd be my dream come true.
God.
But like Grethers pastilles, we all know them.
Oh my God.
Which I truly use and I think they're delicious. And sometimes I eat them like candy. Probably shouldn't do.
Do you chew them at the end?
Sometimes happens at the very bitter end. But I made like a video once and they reached out and they were like, hey, will you make some videos? And I was like, I was already going to, but sure.
I love those things.
I love them.
They're so good.
And so like, listen, I am not above it. If you're going to pay me some money or just give me a product, honestly, I'd rather just sometimes have products.
Oh, for sure.
For free.
Absolutely.
I love free things.
Also, those are expensive, It's
expensive.
And you got to have a constant stock. So like, but yeah, I have a friend that I introduced to them and whenever I give him one, he's like, I got to chew it. I just got to get it over with. I'm like, but that's not how it works. Like, you're not going to get the full benefits of this product that I am giving you. He's like, I just got to do it. It is a unique consistency though. So I do understand, especially when I'm like that kind of person.
I've had to shoot them before because I've put one in before a show, not realizing how much time I don't have. Oh, and I'm like, oh no.
Truly.
And then I feel bad if I spit it out because they're expensive.
That's valid.
So I'm like,
I'm very much, I'm like rushing out the door to like run to a class at Open Jar. And I get there before it's completely dissolved. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, well, I have my grate that's right outside of Hadestown that I will always spit it in. That is exactly what happens.
So if you want free Grethers.
Yeah, you can have my leftovers.
Yes.
Once again, not sponsored, but Grethers, if you're out there.
But TikTok, I think any company, they should be on the TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have been influenced, truly, like the world of influencers, I've been influenced to buy so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Or see shows.
TikTok shop? I'm like, there's no way this is $7 and it is good quality, but I need it,
Yes.
Whatever. I also am a Wish.com shopper, so I can't really.
Never been.
Oh, it's
maybe
not great. I get all of my jewelry from Wish.com, and I have to take every ring off before I wash my hands because my hand will turn green. It's not quality, but it was $1.
Thank you so much.
Truly.
We're on a budget.
We are. And I don't know, because of that, I have a larger collection of rings and such, all of my little knickknacks. I have a larger collection. Are they quality? No. But even if it's one use, how fun. Whatever.
That's one thing about the TikTok with influence people. I'm all about free speech, say your things, but in like theater talk, there are some people out there that I think put out like some like quite negative things, especially when talking about shows. And listen, you don't have to love everything.
No.
You can put your opinion out there, but you can also, the overarching of this, be nice. Like you can be kind about something.
Yeah.
When posting your opinion. And I've really hated seeing people talk about shows or new shows or anything in a really mean way. I'm like, also, people are going to see this.
Yeah.
And like, you're going to hurt people's feelings.
People who cast that show are going to see this. And then they're and then especially if
that person's an actor, I'm like, and then you're going to wonder why you don't get hired. I'm like, if you said you can, I'm not saying you can't, you can say your opinions, but maybe like behind closed doors.
100%.
Not like on the interwebs where like many people will see it.
Yeah.
Including people in that show.
We all have opinions, folks, but like my opinions don't matter. Like my opinions don't matter. I don't need to share those with the world, especially if they're negative. That's something I can kiki with my friends about and like have a little laugh, but like I'm not gonna demean people for what they do,
Especially like right now with all these shows opening up, I've heard people like, I know someone on TikTok said it wasn't very good. I'm like, I hate this because I'm like, one show to someone cannot be their favorite, could be someone's absolutely favorite somewhere else.
100%.
And like these people, in this world of social media, it does affect like ticket sales.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you saying this bad opinion that you're spreading negativity might lead to this show closing, and then you've lost people so many jobs.
Yeah.
I know that sounds so dramatic, but it's kind of true.
It is. It's a snowball effect in this world that we live in right now.
And maybe I am that theater person that I tend to find the good in everything.
Yeah.
But like, also, I can just talk about it behind closed doors.
Totally.
I mean, if you want to put positive things out, just spread positivity.
Yeah. Always.
I don't know.
Absolutely always.
Especially like this Broadway season, there were 12 shows that opened in 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to love every single one of them? Probably not.
No.
But like, you can find the good. They're also all so different.
We also everyone has different tastes,
Yes.
People get different things out of different
Unless
mediums.
you don't like Wicked, you are wrong.
That is true.
I'm so
I will
sorry.
say that.
Goodbye to you.
Yeah. Stop listening to this podcast. You'll never make it in this industry.
Goodbye.
Oh.
But listen,
just kidding. Please don't.
Especially right now with the Tony Noms coming out. I'm just reminding everyone, Wicked did not win Best Musical.
Did you see that picture? It was like, maybe it was a TikTok. They were like, we're going to make up our own Tony nomination categories.
Oh.
And it was like, one of them was like best form or alphabet. And there were truly at least 3 contestants in that.
Was I in it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, because you got your Tony nomination just now.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Surprise. Whoa. Come on in here, everybody. Confetti, champagne, everything.
The American Theater Wing.
But yeah, folks, if you're, once again, I'm hoping your brand is not negative and opinionated, because that is not pleasant to be around. That is not pleasant to work with.
And there are certain people out there that they pop up in the feed. I do go past because I'm like, this is too much negativity for me. But if that is your brand, I guess, okay.
Also, then I see them on the street or at a party, and I'm like, I'm not wanting to interact with you because based on what I have perceived of you via the things that you have posted, it's just not my vibe,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to bring my night down, or even if you are not that, like that is what you are putting out to the world. So
that's where I hope I mean, I'm just being me on the internet talking about theater, but like my last contract I did, there were a few people that were like, I have to be honest with you, Conor, I did know who you were from the social media, but they were like, I met you and you're like, oh, you are the same person. Yeah. And I was like, I hope so.
Good.
I hope I seem a little more sane in real life.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone is. But also it's the internet. It's always a little elevated.
That's fair. I feel like I might actually be a little more unhinged in person. I think I do censor myself just a little bit, which is, I don't know. I think it's a fun surprise, if anything, because I'm not like feral, but I'm a little bit more chaotic, but
right.
Whatever.
But TikTok is, I mean, people have gotten jobs from it. Apparently, what I heard, the girl who's playing Dorothy in The Wiz, first of all, unreal. Mm-hmm. Her voice, unreal. I think she was found off TikTok.
Amazing.
And I'm like, and that's also a thing. I don't really have self-tapes on there. Mm-hmm. I've sneakily done videos where I will sing
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
But in like within a sense, I'm being sneaky about it. But you can also post your kind of the same with Instagram. Like it's all videos, I guess, but like you can sprinkle in your really fierce self-tape. Like
absolutely.
Sure.
Especially if you got those niche little talents that you probably won't be going into the audition room with, like put them up there. Because get your hashtags on there. You know, people have seen things that I've posted little sneaky things like that are from a self-tape. I put a little 8-second clip or whatever, and people have seen it and commented on that in person to me. And I'm like, okay, rad. You know, I can do that. Maybe you'll keep me in mind. Or if you know someone that's doing something of this nature, there you go. You know, whatever. Yep. It's a tool. Once again,
it's a tool.
You got to use it.
I also think, going back to like not being here, even though I basically only talk about theater, I try to talk about it in like a human way as a person. There are some people where it's like their TikTok is just like only self-tapes, and I'm like, but also who are you then?
Once again,
I know you can sing so much better. Fierce, good for you. But also like, who are you?
The only place for specifically performance videos is YouTube. That is why you have a YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
That's where people can go to watch. And also, once again, you can keep your clips down to 1 minute on YouTube. It'll be more palatable and digestible for people and casting agents. But like, that is your place to do that, you know? TikTok is, once again, a place for personality and all of that.
Yeah.
And also, it's just such a good way to engage with the community and feel like you are part of something, you know? I had my day in the sun. I had my one viral TikTok that really popped off.
Cheers.
You know, it was also like in December of 2020. I wasn't even living here yet. And I posted it, and then I took a half-hour car ride, and I got out of the car, and I looked at my phone, and it was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And then I looked, and like people that I admired and respected had like liked it and commented on it. And I was like, this is crazy. It was, I did a very interesting production of a Harry Potter play.
Okay.
Way back when. It was not licensed in any means. It was just the movie script, and we performed it on a very tiny stage. Absolutely atrocious. And I posted a clip of that because it was like theater people stitched this with yada, yada, yada. And I did that. And I looked at it and I was like, wait, no, this is actually really funny. Like I've never really looked back on it in this way. And then I started doing theater because I found, I don't know if you're familiar with Team Star Kid. They do all of like the parody musicals of all that kind of stuff. And like, that is how I got into theater. It was very much me being the only person I knew that enjoyed it. Like it was just something that I secretly loved. And like, that is what inspired me to do this. And like a lot of those people were commenting on this. And I was like, this is insane. Like, this is absolutely insane. I am finally interacting with these people. And I don't know, the amount of joy that I'm feeling right now is just amazing, you know?
I've had the same thing because, like, even though I do this professionally, I'm still that theater kid at the stage door. I'm not physically there, mentally, I'm there.
Yes.
I have had people who now follow me that I'm like, if 13-year-old Conor knew this, he would pass out.
Yeah.
But even like the other day, I made this, I made a parody video of like Nicole Kidman's AMC commercial.
Amazing.
But it's me, the Gershwin. Yeah. And like Mary-Kate Morrissey, shout out, you're so good as Alphabet.
So good.
She commented and she was like, this is incredible. But it's funny, like I put videos out there and I see that people watch them, but I forget that actual people are on the other side watching it. I see a number and I'm like, okay. Like those are actual humans.
Yeah.
So then when people approach me and they're like, I've seen your video, I'm like, what?
Also, like,
who are you? I'm like, oh, right. I do actively put myself out there on display like a zoo animal.
Yeah.
Great.
It's also just like, wow, the grip of TikTok is so expansive.
Everyone has it.
Huge. And once again, it's one of those things where like we're all using it for the same reason. Like we are all using it to turn our brains off and just escape. And that is like just so wonderful. So also worm your way into people's brains, folks. Like that is a lovely way to do that. And like
in a good way.
Yeah. Also, the fact of the matter is not everyone is going to be going viral left and right. So also just use that as a place to spread your joy and do things that make you happy and whatnot and be silly. You know?
Also been a good tool for me that I am very much a people pleaser and I want everyone to like me. And even though it's like all these people will watch a video and they'll love it and they'll comment, I'll see the one comment that's really mean.
Of course.
And it sticks in my brain. But I'm also like, it's taught me, which is good, not everyone's going to like you.
Yeah.
You can put your best self out there. Someone's still going to find something wrong with you, but that's just life. And truly, it's helped me to be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Someone's not going to like it. And I've learned to just not engage. I'm like, whatever.
That's exactly right.
Even though you should like me.
Oh,
Just-
100%.
I'm just saying.
Once again, if you don't like Conor,
You're wrong.
You're never going to make it in this industry. Go away.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're living in a digital age, which like, yes, is scary in a lot of ways, but also it is such a useful tool and you got to use it to your advantage. Anything that you can use to your advantage, do it. You just got to do it.
And also like especially like TikTok, if you don't want to make don't do that.
Yeah.
Like some people just don't have the time. I just have a lot of time on my hands sometimes. But like going back to like the website, those are things you can make and then just have there. And then really you don't have to touch them. They're just there.
Also, like, I don't know. Once again, this is your brand one way or another. So that if once again, there is always going to be that like really mysterious person that's just kind of very ethereal who's like, I'm not on social media. And you're like, honestly, that checks. That's actually very on brand for you. So cool. But yeah, those are few and far between. So,
but in the business of it all, getting jobs, like unfortunately, if you don't love playing the game of have the websites, I personally think you have to play it a little bit, only because I think it helps people get jobs.
Truly.
I personally, truly, a couple weeks ago, I had a friend, doesn't have a ton on the internet, and she said her agent reached out and they're like, hey, they want to see more about you. They Googled you, but like you don't have a lot of videos. And she was like, it finally bit me in the butt. Oh no. And I was like, she did get the job, everyone. So congrats to her.
Congrats.
But she was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like, just get a couple things and post them. And once they're posted, then you don't have to do it. Like TikTok, you have to actively keep creating more things if you want to do that. Like if you're a crazy person like me, but like other stuff, it's good to just have your handful of things up there.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to get jobs and I want you all to be
totally
being on stage, getting paid for it. Thank you.
Also, if you have a good community on social media and whatnot, that is also an incentive to cast you because that is something that is going to bring in people to these shows, you know?
I mean, Chicago's been doing it forever.
Oh, yeah.
And it works. And some of them fierce.
Yeah.
Real fierce.
Awesome. Absolutely.
And I feel like when I was in college, and so many years ago, we would joke like, oh, how many followers do you have? Unfortunately, where the world is going, it does help, I think.
Yes.
Not that listen, I have followers. I'm not in a Broadway show, but it doesn't hurt, I guess.
Truly.
Especially if it's kind of the brand of the show. I think about a show like Anne Juliet.
Oh, of course.
Like the people.
My favorite show on Broadway.
I've seen it 11 times. That's
amazing.
Incredible. 3 times since I've been back in the city. I've been back for
Iconic.
4 weeks. But like a show like that, I'm like, that would lean itself to having people in it who probably have some sort of a social media following, you know?
And they're also some of the loveliest people I've ever met, you know? They're great.
And yeah, I don't think like having the branding, everything on the internet, I don't think it's ever going to hurt you.
No.
If you're genuine, you know? We keep saying it, but it's like, if you're genuinely mean, I guess, well, that's you, I guess. But if you just are genuine and you're kind and you put your authentic self out there, it's only going to benefit you.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's the world we're in. So use it.
And I think it's only getting crazier. You know what I think about? Like years from now, there's going to be another TikTok app that we have never
9 months from now, there's going to be another TikTok app.
Like 4 years, I didn't know what TikTok was.
Yeah.
It also didn't really exist. And now here it is.
That's like one of those things with this TikTok ban bill where I'm like, we're just going to make another one. And quite frankly, it's going to be called Schmick Schmock or whatever. You know, it is truly going to be so on the nose and such a big FU that it's just going to happen because people love it and people love it for a reason.
I'm like, I know there's all these legal things, but I'm like, please don't take it away. I need to see people restocking Diet Coke in their fridge.
Absolutely.
With an ASMR microphone.
Yeah.
Please don't take my joy.
Exactly.
Please. This is a cry for help.
I can't go on YouTube for that. I can't intentionally search these things. They need to
just pop up.
They need to come into my life organically in ways that I didn't even know I needed, you know?
Absolutely.
That algorithm, it gets you.
The only time there was like a time like some of those videos that I loved weren't popping up that I actively searched them. So they would pop up and I was like, I'm ashamed.
Every once in a while, like I will start to get on like car chase talk, which is enthralling to me. You know, it's so random. It's like that kind of stuff. but then eventually it'll like evolve into confrontation talk and then into like cop talk. And I'm like, it's like a sudden reality where I'm like, oh my God, how did I get here? I need to get back. I'm like, hydraulic press.
You know, I can't wait now that our phones are listening to us to see what my feed is.
Oh yeah. As soon as we put this on the internet.
I can't wait. There was a time this past summer I did go to the Jonas Brothers concert.
Amazing. Had a blast.
Had a blast. Yeah. My TikTok then turned into 30-second clips of Joe Jonas only singing the same part of Vacation Eyes. I mean, every video.
Of course.
And I was like, am I mad? No.
I watched Big Rob so many times on my feed, and every time I was just so proud. I was like, life is right. Life is good. Oh my God. This is not related at all. But over last summer, I had this like really weird spell of just like bad luck. You know, it was just like stupid little petty things that would happen to me throughout the day. And it was during this time when I went to see the Jonas Brothers concert, and I had the time of my life. It was such a lovely night. I went with 3 very close friends. I had a fierce outfit. We made a night of it. We went and got our margaritas at Arriba, my favorite place, right before. And I got home and I got in bed and I was like, this was just a great night. And I was laying in my bed and I opened my eyes, and right in the corner of my ceiling, there was one of the biggest cockroaches I've ever seen. And I was like, how dare you? How dare you do this? Because also now I can't go to sleep. Now I need to seal up every single hole in my room, you know? Oh, wild times. How dare they? But yeah, like,
if Joe Jonas, if you're listening to this,
Joe Jonas,
we love your work.
Truly. And I'm so sorry that insect put a damper on my night, but overall I still had a blast and I really appreciated it.
I remember I was in rehearsals for shows and we were like, guys, let's be really good. Like, we have final runs on Monday. We acted as if we weren't going to scream.
Yeah.
And then we go back to our camera rolls. I'm pretty sure punctured my vocal cords.
That was
screaming.
That was our renaissance. That truly was our renaissance. Like, that was everything that I used to love in childhood. Like, as soon as they played Australia, I was like, this is such a deep cut, and it is also my favorite thing in the world. They know what they're doing, and
they played some a place Camp Rock at ours.
Oh,
about
lucky.
Lost My Mind.
We did not get the Camp Rock, and I was waiting for it.
I was like, is Demi coming out? I will actually die, I think.
We had Jimmy Fallon as like a random cameo, which was just so weird, but I was also like, great.
Cool.
He sang Mr. Brightside. It was crazy. Anywho, they have a great brand.
Back to the
branding. Also, I mean, yeah, all of these things are just great ways to put yourself out there and engage with the community, and also just to feel a part of it. It's just nice to feel a part of it, even if you're just commenting on someone else's TikTok. You know, you are actively contributing to this community. You know,
I know in my experience, I've actually made friends from TikTok who I have now met like in real life, and I'm like, this is so crazy that from this app and engaging with each other and like liking each other's stuff, then we meet in real life, and I'm like, oh, no wonder like we would be good friends. Like, no wonder that like the algorithm of it all
truly
brought you to me. But I've made actual friends from this app. It's wild to me.
Yeah. Also, like, even with this podcast, like whenever people send me messages now, like even if it's just a thank you, I'm like, wow, like I'm so happy that I am in this with you. You know, like we're all in this together. I'm so happy that we're doing this, and like, I'm rooting for each and every one of you. I really am. Like that. We are all.
I love High School Musical.
Also, the amount of times that I say that sentence in public, no matter where I am, no matter who I am with, whatever stranger will always immediately go into the arms.
Incredible.
It is incredible. Once again, another way we unify this world.
Part of my vernacular is, you're crazy, Wildcat. Someone does something kooky, I'm like, oh, you are crazy, Wildcat.
Did you watch High School Musical, the series?
Am I a human? Yes.
I'm a
big fan.
Huge fan.
Also realized I'm like, oh, I have no talent. These kids.
Also that.
Some of them are they are like teenagers when they first filmed it.
Yeah.
And I am a 31-year-old man. So good.
Also just so invested.
Also,
so
Kate
invested
Reinders,
in there.
wow.
Oh my God. Literally.
Love her.
Oh.
I do love that show.
I had a blast.
I'm
every
just
second
sad
of the way.
that High School Musical on stage had its time. I mean, I did it many times, community theater, but like regional theaters did it. Like Paper Mill Playhouse did High School Musical.
Insane.
And I would like a resurgence of that.
Oh, yeah. Where's the revival?
Where is the revival?
But
I'm ready to play Ryan Evans for everyone.
Fact of the matter is, we might be a little too old for that. We might be aging out of that.
Listen, I've been really good friends with Peter Pan for the past 7 years.
That's so true, actually, now that you say that. The
So
Disney
speak for
canon.
yourself.
Yeah. Our favorite rodent out there is really keeping a lot of us employed.
Yeah.
Including
Yikes.
myself at this moment, you know?
Listen, thanks,
If it ain't
Mickey. I
broke-
love you.
What are you doing? The drones are going to hear
Oh,
us.
God. We love your work.
Stop, they're outside the window. Oh no, someone send help. Choo choo. That was a great stop on the tangent train. Yeah, y'all engage with your community, put yourself out there, be yourself. I think that's really what it is. I think that is the key to all of this. Your
Yep.
brand is important, you know, in terms of the marketing of this business, in terms of show business. So hone that, really tune in on that. And like, I don't know, once again, it may not be your first priority because this is a stepping stones, you know, this is also kind of why I like try to do the episodes in the order that we do it, is like you can consistently build this tool belt, and this is just the next step of that will help you then from here on with all of the other things we also talked about and the things that we will talk about in the future. So take what you can out of it, and that's that.
Wow.
I think we nailed it.
That was pretty good. We can write a book.
That's so true.
Almost-
Should we write a book? Anywho, folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. We really love and appreciate you. We are your biggest supporters, and as always, you can be our biggest supporters by finding us on Patreon. Normal disclaimer, we will not be gatekeeping any information on the Patreon. It is just for fun, bonus content, silly stories, behind the scenes stuff. That is what it is for. So we would love to see you there. Also, folks, I just want to also give a huge shout out. We have officially surpassed 1,000 downloads of the podcast, which is
Yay.
so absolutely crazy to me. And I am so honored. And also, it just really helps. It really helps with the business aspect of this field. So please, if you're not downloading right now, if you're just listening, first of all, thank you. But also go up there, turn on automatic downloads. I don't even care if you don't listen to it. You don't have to. Just that does so much and will help this podcast run for as long as I can possibly get it, you know? So thank you so, so much. I am ever appreciative. Connor, where can folks find you if you want to be found?
They can. I always want to be found.
Whoa.
You will be found. What's up, David Hansen, everyone? Okay.
I'm familiar.
I'm at Conor DeVoe, CONORDEVOE on the Instagram and the TikTok. Yeah, I don't.
What's your website?
What's my website? www.conordevoe.com.
Plot twist.
Woo. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Amazing. Folks, go follow him. You're going to want to see his content. It's great.
Or you might not want to, but no, you will.
We already talked about that before. You'll never make it unless it's straight. No, just kidding.
You have great taste.
Yeah.
And if you see me in Hell's Kitchen, say hi.
Always say hi.
I'm usually skipping around.
But I think anyone that I have brought on the podcast would be fine with you saying hi. You know, I bring these people on for a reason. And myself, if you see me, definitely say hi. That would make my day. And I often need people to make my day. So please do it. You know? Folks, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA2Broadway. Folks, thank you so much. It's been a blast. Connor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
for
having me.
We really appreciate it. And folks, until next week, bye. From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.